Okay, the right here is terrible. This is pretty bad. I wonder if I can move it over a bit. Yeah, if I'm gonna keep doing this, I need to get a better platform. But anyway, I need to talk because I feel like nobody wants to hear me anymore among people I know. Not because I say anything bad, it's just they don't want to give me any false promises or any anyway. So here are my thoughts. Quite's been pretty good. Well, if you see a nice little picture I bought. There's this picture up there, but that one I've had for a while. This one I bought at the coffee shop. Maybe because I was trying to be impressive, maybe not, but I like the picture, so it's okay. So his wife. Work has settled down. I feel like I have multiple projects where I know what's happening, and I think I wasted at the very least it would take a couple months to give it to me. If they wanted to give it to me, and that'll give me definitely enough time to find a new job if something happened, which I don't think it will. I think I'm pretty good, and I want to stay where I am at least until I pay off the gift loan that I got from my parents for this house, because that's kind of key. And then once I do that, I can just kind of go around the world if I want to. I don't know if I want to or not, but the ability to have automatic freedom to live is pretty good. Is very, very good. And if something happened to me, if I went to pay that part off, I could rent out both sides, have a cheap place in West Virginia or something, and then be golden basically. At least as far as surviving goes. And I got my soccer bros. I got soccer. I got my walks in the morning. I try to stay in shape. Probably drink a bit too much, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm overall pretty good. I have no idea how to get into a relationship. I don't know. What's the difference between hanging out with somebody all the time and being in a relationship? Like, yes, okay, kissing, sex, and everything. Okay, great. How do you get to that point? I don't really know. Like, I don't want to push the issue. If I've pushed the issue in the past, they will just end up going away. I don't want that. So I'm kind of going towards a garden approach. I just hang out with different women and just kind of multi-simp. One simp to more them all. But anyway, that's the game. That's the kind of game plan. But all things considered, there are a lot of people in relationships who don't get that sucks anyway. So it's kind of like me. What am I really missing? I mean, at the moment, I can kind of hang out with different girls and enjoy the company and everything. Am I really losing that much? Like, I mean, there's sex, but having multiple female company to have around is nice. So anyway, I hung out with Faith yesterday. She's awesome. She's she is a INTP woman to the extreme. Very introverted, intuitive, thinking over, feeling, open. Yeah, she's great. I'm really shocked. Honestly, shocked that she didn't have any friends growing up. I mean, honestly, she's a really nice person, and she's like really, really. She laughs a lot. I don't know why. So let the nerd goes. It's not an unusual thing. I don't know what happened. I feel like maybe she had like a super protective family life or something. Like something's weird. Something's weird with that. I'm not sure what the scenario is. Nothing bad. Just kind of. Anyway, but she made me a smoothie, so I got to play Metroid Dread, which is an amazing game. And she made me a smoothie, which was really, really good. I think next time I'm gonna bring a board game or two, that kind of thing. I like video games, but just not my strong suit. I'm not that good at video games, especially like jumping around. Especially, I mean, he's terrifying. Right? Yeah, I know, terrifying game. So you can't kill them, and then you die. I mean, it's just terrible. So I think next time I might bring board games. That might be fun. So when I left, I told her that I'd be hanging out every 2 weeks, which I know that's so stupid to say. I'm gonna be, but like, I like having things on a schedule. I like having something I can rely on. I like knowing that, hey, in 2 weeks, no matter what happens, I have a friend to hang out with, and I can do nerd stuff. Sounds weird, yes, but it's you know what I mean. So that's just nice. And then I'm still hanging out with Melissa. She's also awesome. We went to the ocean together 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and I got this. So we hung out on the beach, and it was nice. We just kind of hung out, and then we went to the water, and she hung out really close to me in the water. It was nice, you know. And then she grabbed my arm, and then I grabbed her arm, and then I like kind of spun her around a bit when we were in the water. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, we're not dating, because I had to talk with her like 2.5 weeks ago. Where I'm like, what are we? What are we doing? I can't define this. I don't know what this is. We hang out a lot. What's going on? We go on these trips. But she said just friends, which is fine. Okay with that. She's probably my best friend. But still, and then she does this kind of crap. And then she's like, oh, can we stay someplace overnight? And I'm like, I'm not thinking. I'm like, oh, I've got work tomorrow. I need to get home to go to work. If I don't go to work, I could be in trouble. I already just took a day. I just took a day, random sick day for no reason. I can't. And then I'm like, thinking back, I'm like, I might have missed an opportunity there. They don't even would have been anything, but like also like it wouldn't have meant like anything kooky. It could have just meant like honestly, I want to sleep with somebody, not sex, but I want to like sleep in the same room with somebody because like I sleep so much better when I've got somebody around. Like okay, so I went to CrossCon this past weekend. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I talked about it later, but sleeping in the same room, small apartment with like two other guys, Peter and Michael. And Peter was chill. Michael was insane, but nice, but super aggressive. Like, it's aggressive dude. Charming way though, so he kind of pours it off, but he's got some issues. He's got some issues to work on. But anyway, so sleeping with this one, sleeping in the room with like this one guy I'm like vaguely friends with, and I get cigars with him like once a month or so. Another guy I've never met, and I sleep so well. Maybe I didn't sleep that well, but I feel like I slept so well, and like I didn't have to relax or anything the entire weekend. And it's just kind of like I sleep so much better when I'm around other people. Like I wish sleeping together wasn't a euphemism for sex. I really wish it wasn't. I wish I could go to my friend and be like my guy friend and be like, "Hey, do you want to sleep together?" No, not like that. I mean, actually, just sleep in the same room would be amazing. Like, you feel so secure. You're more virtuous because you're not relaxing. You don't feel lonely. You're just kind of like, I have a job to do during the day. Sleep in the same room with a bunch of guys. Like that's why I liked hostels, is because you can just kind of like sleep with a bunch of people. And that sounds so weird to say out loud, but I guarantee you, every single guy in the universe has the same feeling. And I think girls actually sleep together more. And I think guys need that. And that is probably the gayest thing I've said in a long time, but I mean every word of it. But anyway, like me and Wish could just go to a hotel room or something and just like sleep together. Like not like that, but like just being sleeping in the same room would be great. I really hope nobody ever sees this. That would be really, really bad. Um, but anyway, we're just friends. We're very, very close friends. Might giggle, you might give it the impression, but it's a wrong impression. Yeah, but Faith is probably a better target, but she's got own issues. She never had a friend over before or gone to a friend's house, and I'm like, she'd never gone to a friend's house. What? Who goes up and never goes to a friend's house? Like, I feel like I'm almost like, I gotta be so careful. I don't want to give her, like, if I did something wrong to her, I would be like the worst person imaginable. Maybe that's the issue. Is that like I want to hang out with these girls, but I don't want to like do anything that's gonna like hurt them. I guess. Now, if they wanted to initiate, then I would definitely automatically go monogamous and just hang out with that person. But they, as it is, if they don't want the next stage, then I'm not going to be like getting one-nighters and only going after one girl if like they're not actually interested in actually having a relationship at the next stage. I mean, I've done that before, and like you need the whole thing. Well, I'm just going to go after one person. And say that doesn't work. That's not a thing that works. It works when you have a multiple agreement. And the agreement done. Okay, relationship check. That's what you need to have. And that's why I brought up the conversation more. So I don't think Faith is anywhere near that conversation. I think she run away. No, sorry. Yeah, maybe literally. But it's good to have friends. It's good to have female friends. And honestly, like, again, what do I want out of a relationship? I want female companionship. I want female chatter. I want somebody to hang out with. I want beauty, be around beauty. And I want somebody I can be like a man for. But like the actual sex part of things, it's kind of like, do I really care that much about that? I mean, vaguely, yeah, obviously. But am I willing to sacrifice what I have now for that? And I'm like, if they wanted to go to the next being relationship, but now actually might not get anything for it. You might not be in a relationship. And that's happened to me a ton of times. By the way, I'm drinking this vanilla porter. Pretty good. Breckenridge Brewery. I've been there. Very nice place. Well, not nice, but it's a warehouse. But pretty good beer. I enjoy it. Bit sweet, I guess, but I like the vanilla. So whatever. Okay, this is so nice. I started to talk on my thoughts. I don't think I've said anything bad yet. We'll get there. Actually, I say that now. I mean, honestly, we basically live in a polygamous society right now. We basically do. There's a few guys who sleep with other women. That's, I think, common knowledge, I think, at this point, that that's how dating works until you get a certain age and get married, and then it turns monogamous. Hopefully. But if we live in basically a polygamous society, basically what we have now is a bifurcated society where good men are in monogamous relationships and get shat on for it by the partner sometimes. I've seen it enough times. It seems to be reasonably widespread. Surprisingly widespread. Like, I know a lot of women who do not treat their husbands well. Now, some do. Don't get me wrong. Some treat them very, very well. And they're great. And they're the same. And then those relationships, the guy doesn't appreciate it. Both sides here. But I feel like there's a lot of relationships where the guy just kind of shat on for being monogamous and saying, that's weird. That's all the good guys. And then there's a bunch of assholes who just sleep with a bunch of women, or they produce kids off a bunch of women and then rely on the state, my tax dollars, to pay for their progeny, their spawn, basically. And that sounds mean. It sounds bad for several reasons I'm not going to get into. But that's how it feels. That's how it feels. So I feel like we're definitely eventually going to end up in a polygamous society, actually polygamous, where a man creates kids with multiple women and takes care of them all and that's actually like there for them. And like I feel like there's a lot of benefits to that, just because of like if women could help each other out with child rearing and stuff, and like the husband of course would help too. But because if women all have careers, then they don't want to give up their career to have kids, right? I mean, of course not. But they also want to go through. They also want to take care of kids, right? And that's part of what they want too. So I feel like a polyamorous society could deal with that. Now the issue, of course, is that um, you end up with a lot of men who are left out of the whole dating pool. But that's what we have anyway. Like we have like 35% of men at age of 30 are virgins or something like that, something ridiculous like that. It's pretty high, right? So it's not like we live in a society where men get like any reasonably good chance of a spouse, right? No, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where women date all date the same guys to their 20s, desperately try to find a guy, and then, well, that's not fair. A lot of women do find guys, and also a lot of the women who don't, it's not their fault. I mean, I have a very very close friend who dated a guy for 5 years, and then he's like, "Oh, bye, I'm not feeling it." It's like, go fuck yourself, man. You know, I'm not getting the specifics here, but you know what the narrative was going, what the narrative was when you were going dating somebody for 5 years. Like, go fuck yourself, man. Oh, I'm a nice guy. I'm a big guy. Go die in a hole. Hang yourself, please. You're a bad person. Go fuck yourself. Okay, I have nothing but hatred for that kind of guy. And now she's going through all the whole Tinder thing, and it's kind of like a whole thing where it's just kind of like it's difficult. It is difficult to pick. It must be very, very difficult to pick a guy because you have some guys who are just going to put him on a show. A lot of guys are creeps or desperate. Or how do you actually find a good man in the whole pile of men in online dating? Like, it must be very difficult. And as I know that, like, I consider myself a relatively good man. As I take a swig of beer, but I haven't found shit in online dating. So I'm like, okay, the sorting it must be very difficult. So like, how do you find a spouse? Now, I do think that college may be different. I mean, I think college people actually just settle down with their like first or second boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever, and it just kind of works out. And same with after the year or two after college, where people are kind of like finding their friend groups in whatever city they end up in, and they just kind of say, "Oh, join up," and it kind of works out. But the whole mid to late 20s scenario is shit. That seems to be very, very bad, right? I mean, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's wonderful, everybody. I just haven't heard that. So there's some exceptions. So my friend is about to get engaged. Very close friend. He basically went through a conversion experience where he turned from a center right. He's always kind of conservative, but center right, non-political type engineer, and then he basically turned into a populist right, Trump supporter Christian. I mean, and so he did that. And I mean, after he did that, he joined the military, moved down south. Did that for a couple, like 2 years, I think now, and then he got buff, which was, dude, he looks good now. I mean, he's like 6'6", full of muscle. Anyway, he went to church, found a Bible group, got hitched, met somebody, and he's like, "Oh, I was open with her, and that might made the difference." Like, no, sorry, man. It's the fact that you're 6'4" and full of muscle now, and you actually have a career now, which all kind of necessary. So no, fuck, you found somebody. Okay, that's good job. I'm proud of you. But I don't think it's you being open. Anyway, so that's how he found somebody. So I think there's like maybe pathways there, especially in the southern states, conservative areas of the country. And then another one of my friends he was professional about the whole Tinder online dating thing. He dated, updated his profile, Went on probably a crap ton of really bad dates. Got laid a few times. I had a few short-term flings, and then eventually found somebody who's more permanent, which is great for him. But I feel like that doesn't really kind of glosses over the situation. There's one of those short-term flings, right? Like those women not happy. You give him, he probably doesn't see anything like that, but he's like, questionable. So I'm single. I mean, my situation is not the most honorable, is it? No. I'm hanging out with Melissa and hanging out with Faith, and I'm got Bailey's number, and she's this really cute Afro-Caribbean chick from soccer. Anyway, I'm trying to invite her to do stuff. She seems to always be busy, so I'm not sure if that's actually going to continue or anything. She texts back, so maybe we'll see. But yeah, but the relation I had, so much went on vacation for a month in Europe, and traveling with some friends. I feel like her friend is a lesbian, and I wonder how far they got. I'm kind of wondering. Just from a strictly scientific standpoint, of course. Yeah. Anyway, I'm part of that. But anyway, she was gone for like a month. So the first 2 weeks after she left, I got really depressed because she was coming over like 4 to 5 times a week for like 3 months. Yeah, just friends. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. Anyway, I did before she left. I did tell her that she was precious to me, and that she meant more than me to anything. It makes the darkness go away. Like, I don't know. What else can I say that if I could say saying I'm mad in love with you? It's like, it's kind of what I can say. Anyway, I kind of told her the same thing as she got back. But anyway, yeah, just bang him, dude. It's like, okay, yeah. How do you do that not being in a relationship? That's the thing. And I want to be like, I don't want to be forceful. I don't want to be like, oh, no, I don't want to be that. I don't know. I don't know how to work. I hooked up with a few people in Europe, but that was kind of a different situation. I forget the names. But anyway, but maybe they're just friends. But so what I came to the conclusion, though, after 2 weeks of being depressed, is that I keep using these metrics that don't work for me. Like, am I in a relationship? I say, why is that the metric I use for being successful or happy? Like, why not use a metric I'm good at? Everybody uses it. So anybody says, oh, just be confident in yourself. Bullshit. Nobody's confident in themselves. Everybody has some kind of metric they're basing themselves off of, and they're happy with themselves whether or not they meet that metric. Right? If somebody's very religious, it's do they have a good relationship with God? If it's somebody is very political, if somebody's very political, they might be like, do I have the right beliefs for my political group? If somebody is very high achieving, they might be, have I succeeded? Have I achieved some things? Always much, so on and so forth. Everybody has different metrics. And then they turn around and say, I'm just confident. It's like, no, you're not. You're basing everybody's confidence based on some metrics. And my entire life, I've used these metrics that I am bad at, right? Dating. I'm not a good dater. So why am I using metrics that make me look bad? I should use metrics of how much money I make, or the fact I have a house, or the fact that I'm reasonably in shape, or the fact I play soccer, or the fact that I play the musical instruments, or the fact that I play music, or the fact that I play video games, or the fact that I travel a lot, or the fact that all these things I could be using for my metrics. I'm not using. Why am I not using the metrics to make me look good? Then people are like, oh yeah, you don't seem confident in dating. Well, because I'm basing my confidence on dating success. So it's like a circle. So I'd rather I'm basing my metrics on myself. So now Moose is back. We're not hanging out quite as much as it's probably good. We went out to dinner to a steakhouse, and we went to stay together. And she wanted me to stay to grab a hotel. And I missed that sign. I don't know. We were just really close friends. Share a hotel room before we go. Anyway. So this whole Andrew Tate thing, I know nothing about him. I've heard some things from my Vedpo friend. That's the thing with Vedpo. It's like it's not all bad advice. You can shape, be jacked. Don't make everything about women. Like some advice is good, but then like a lot of the guys who actually go into that just end up being these giving up, no go is good enough kind of guys. And that's what's weird is that that's actually attractive. But it doesn't wait until it's like objectively attractive. I think they'll find it attractive, but they don't actually go for it. That was him, and then the other guy was super aggressive, but he was incredibly jacked when he met his fiance. So hey, that's the key, just be jacked. I need to go to the gym more. That should be a new resolution. But it's just like I'm 31. I'm probably not gonna get married at this point. Like it's not going that direction. So it's kind of like, well, what do I want to make my life about? And that's why I get kind of stuck. Is like I don't know. Like family seems to be a pretty common metric, right? Like work is fun. Like I guess right now I'm just passing time until I pay off this house loan. To be honest, after that I might just go AWOL. But I mean that's not a way to live life. Just being AWOL your whole life. And maybe I move down south. Maybe even work for him. But I feel like I might just move into the same situation with the job I don't like as much. And honestly, I'm sorry, military. No offense against the military. I feel like it's daycare. Like, what are you actually accomplishing? You're doing all these drills and all this exercise stuff and all these things. What are you actually doing if you're not in war? Are you actually like accomplishing anything in the military if you're not actually fighting a war? Again, there's the benefit to the world of having America and yada yada yada, secondary benefits and whatever, but you're not doing anything as a military person. So it's like, oh yeah, you gotta have a mission. Yeah, you gotta have a mission and know stuff, and you gotta like help your country. It's like, okay, your mission is doing a bunch of drills that you're not gonna do in combat. I mean, that's your day to day. That's what you do every day. I mean, maybe that's most job. Maybe that's every job. Is that you just kind of go through the motions. But I don't like this whole military. It's great. I mean, anyway, I got you out. There's a lot of virtue associated with it, with them being in shape and everything. My projects are good. I can't talk too much about them, but I'm going. I feel like I can't talk to anybody about this anymore. Like I feel like can I talk to Moisha about this? No. Can I talk to Faith about this? No. Can I talk to Chris Morton? Can I talk to my Chris friend about this? No, he's gone over just so not getting anything interesting there. Talk to Alex. He's going to go good. No, just kiss her or whatever. I feel like I have nobody to talk to about any of this stuff. It's why I'm here. I've gone for 30 minutes now. It's a Saturday night. I'm talking to myself on YouTube and drinking a beer. Yay, success. This is great. This is wonderful. I got to play soccer today. That was fun. I'm going to hang my Faith yesterday, so I need to be stopping a whiny little bitch right now. But, that's work, relationships, friendships are going, I guess. I'm still friends with my people, but they're kind of drifting. So boring. And my cousins are cool. But that's why I'm always kind of got faith into a schedule. I'm like, okay, every 2 weeks I'm here with her, and that's just gonna keep me sane. There's been like a lot of periods. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks at a time where I haven't had anybody to talk to. I'm an extrovert. That's bad for me. I don't even know if I'm an extrovert. I think I'm just like really, really isolated. You know, I think even that's kind of like introverts. Like, oh, well, I'm introvert. I don't need people. It's like, Dad, you've been surrounded by people for nonstop for the past 40 years. You have no fucking clue how surrounded by love you've been your entire life. Isn't my brother? He's like, oh, I'm introverted. Like, again, you've never been alone. People have never been alone. Are like, oh, I'm an introvert. I don't need people. It's like, you're always around people, man. You're not an introvert. You're just wealthy in social connections, which I'm happy for you, but maybe don't bitch as much or be so proud of yourself. I can't believe Faith hadn't hung out with anybody. It's like insane to me. I wonder if she gets depressed sometimes. I feel like she just kind of like does the gaming thing, and that's her life. Like, honestly, really healthy. Like, I went over there and she made like fried rice, homemade from her, just herself. And then she made smoothies from like banana, strawberry. Like, she eats really, really well. Like she's in great shape. Like, she's like, she looks good. Except for the acne that she has. I'm always wearing a mask. She's really obsessed with that. There's just like different comments. So she's pretty far in the rough, but rough going. So I'm like, okay. Could I lie about my politics my entire life? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think I could do it for a while, but I'd eventually swell up. But I think she knows I'm conservative, and I'm like, as long as you don't bring it up, it's fine. I mean, I become communist. I'm gonna be communist. That has some integrity to it. But I mean, life is good. My metrics are good. Except that one metric I have trouble with. I can go into that here. I'm watching more anime. I'm watching like Demon Slayer and like politics. I don't think anybody. I think conservatives in general just decided not to die in the hill of Andrew Tate. We're kind of like, we're not gonna fight that war. He's it's just the whole Red Pill thing. So cringe. Especially these Red Pill guys who are like, oh, I'm good with women, and then they have to move to like fucking Romania to find anything. It's like, might be you, man. And if you go to Romania, you have such a power differential because of the money you have versus other people. Like, okay, great job. That's not a replicable. You can't have all Western men just move to Romania. I guess you could. I've done before, but. So, yeah. I have nobody to talk to like this, which kind of bugs me. I guess it's a sign that people I'm friends with and family with are getting more mature, where like they're like, oh, we don't talk about some things, and maybe there's some things that like we're not even gonna listen, and we'll just say yeah. And maybe that's the sign of maturity, is shutting down when people talk about anything that's like this, like that's just real, no fake. I don't know if this is real or fake. I have no idea. Maybe it's a sign of maturity. Maybe it's a sign I'm a little bit sick of my bullshit. I think it's just how my brother about a lot of this stuff, which is nice. And my sister got in a huge fight about dating, and I said some things I shouldn't say that were true. I basically said your dating strategy is not working, which it's obviously not. But it's not something I should say because that's a bad thing to say because that makes people feel bad. Oh, she's getting dates. Good. I'm just saying, okay, if you're using the male metric for dating, then that's not going to lead to your success as a woman. I don't think. And it's like also disgusting when women are like, "Oh, I get so many dates." It's like, yeah, because men want to bang you. Congratulations. That's I guess it's better than not being the case. To be honest, I really hope she didn't see this. She's gonna be pissed if she sees this. Anyway, she's not gonna get this far into the video. Um, I'm still Catholic. I still go to church. I think it's all kind of bullshit at this point. Not bullshit. I feel like okay. I feel like there's a white force and there's God. I feel like there's a white force of light, but it's just like I have so many connotations built into that that I don't know if like the God, what I refer to as God is actually what God actually is. You know, it's like meditation, but like I don't want to be a good little boy, you know? And I hate how everybody's like, oh, Mike, you're a good guy. I'm like, I don't want to be a good guy. I want to be a man. I don't want to be a good guy or a good boy or like a nice guy. I don't want any of that shit. I want to be a man, you know? Like, and I don't know if that's even possible. I mean, I don't have the right genetic makeup to be an actual man. Like, I don't want to be a man child. That's what I am. I don't want to be it. I want to change. I've gotten a job. I'm trying to talk to girls. I'm trying to have everything set together like it should be in the real world and have a job and work and have aspirations. But like, I'm 31. I live by myself. I'm not a man. I'm like a boy child thing. And maybe I think it might be the church. I honestly think it might be Catholicism. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I start going to a nice Protestant church. Actually, Catholic girls are sluts. I mean, it's just I mean, if they get married, great. But like, there's some deep issues with Catholic girls and Catholic guys too. Maybe I'm the issue too. Maybe Catholics in general, are more just corrupt as hell and can't get back. Protestants maybe the whole born again thing. Maybe that helps people. I don't know. Like, I know there are things I shouldn't do. I shouldn't be on the internet. I know I shouldn't be drinking as much as I do. 5.4%, it's not bad. I know I shouldn't be smoking. I know I shouldn't be like wasting a whole day on YouTube. But I don't know how to change. The only things I've done to change, I've changed a lot. I've changed my whole life, but not enough. Like I play soccer multiple times a week, a bunch of times a week. I go to the gym sometimes. Not enough. Maybe I should do some more. I try to hang out with girls. I try to have female relationships. I try to have a good job. I try to work hard. Nothing seems to work at all. I don't know how to get better. I feel like I'm just slowly becoming worse. It's a downer. Have a drink. But like I know I'm a good guy, but I'm not a good man. And it's also like there's nobody I really like look up to. Like I guess my brother. He's like the only person I really look up to. I just think ignores all of these issues. My mom is like roasting in glasses for everything. Everything's gonna be great. Gee, that's helpful. Like I occasionally think about, I thought about it. Not recently, not in the past. In the past 5 weeks or so, I was thinking about it when watch I watched. I'm not going to because I'm scared of pain. And also, I really hate knots. I don't want my wax act to be tying a knot. I'm like, I'm not a fan of knot rope. So I'll be fine. But it does kind of, it's scary how quick my thoughts go to that. But I think I made a few mistakes in my life. One, I knew I was going to like College Park. I didn't like College Park. I made some good friends there, but I should have gone to UBC, first off. Or University of Chicago. That would have been cool too. University of Chicago. I got into University of Chicago. I was smart. Like, I was really, really smart. I don't know if I am anymore, but I was. That's so pathetic to say out loud, but it's true. So that was a mistake. I think doing that statics class that was an unavoidable mistake. If I was going to be trying engineering, I would have always been taking that course, and it would have always gone badly, just based on the fact I'm bad at spatial intelligence. Maybe not done the honors class, maybe, but maybe. And honestly, given the College Park, given the people I know went to College Park, I don't think I would have been able to get through the computer science program or electrical engineering programs. I probably could have done chemical engineering in 4 years. But I think I gotten through things in 1 year quicker. But I like biology. I should have held through and gone to medical school, but I had my GPA at that time, and I was really depressed. I was getting a lot of B's. I didn't see in the cards that I was going to get into med school, and maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have been like, "I'll just stay the course and get a good GPA for the rest of the time." But it's tough getting a high GPA in bio courses. You can know the material, but if you get the wrong answer, you get the wrong answer. So that was the path I followed in College Park. Is probably the best I could have with my depression, with having really bad depression and bipolar and anxiety and all those things. I don't know if that was really avoidable. I was so alone. I felt, well, maybe I wasn't as alone as I thought. Maybe I'm misremembering things. I'm probably misremembering because I was trying to Tyler Hardy and Adam and different people, and I was going through things, but I just didn't feel like anybody wanted me there. I tried to fight it, especially after my first semester of sophomore year. I definitely tried to turn things around and succeeded to some effect. But I don't know how much I could have really fixed my College Park experience. That might have been outside of working out more. That might have just been inevitability of my depression and my anxiety and my bipolar and all the things I had to go through. And inside me, I think everybody else is probably reasonably nice. Oh, hey, Wings of Fatness, how you doing? Wow, I actually have somebody watching this. This is shocking to me. Welcome. I'm just going through all my bad decisions. Probably not the best platform to do so, but everybody makes mistakes. See, now I don't want to show everything because now there's actually somebody listening. I was expecting just to be buried by the algorithm, but shit. Okay, well, I have someone in chat. What do you want to talk about? Wings of Fatness, politics, sports, video games, anime? I can spout off about anything. It's going to be badly informed, but it's going to be there. Okay, I'm keep going then. Oh. Thoughts on the media not covering Black and Hispanic mass killings? What do I think about that? Well, I think first off, a lot of the Black and Hispanic mass killings are drug war stuff, so nobody actually cares. And I think that is part of the reason that nobody wants to talk about it. And it doesn't really help anybody. Like, Republicans want to stay away from talking about race like the plague because they really need to get Black and Hispanic, well, especially Hispanic votes. Democrats don't want to talk about it because they want to paint the problem society being populist rights, like me. They want to talk about me. Incel white men. Hello. So I think it doesn't serve the motivations of either side to talk about them, and they're mostly drug war related anyway. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be called racist. I don't want to go into that whole discussion. I'm a Republican. I want to get minority votes. I want to win. I want to win. And so I don't think it's a profitable thing for people to talk about for either side. Although it is a thing. I'm not going to say it's not a thing because I think everybody is a killer. Everybody murders. It's a thing. Every race has in common. Well, maybe not Asians, but everybody always has in common. So it's not a profitable thing to talk about. Yeah, I don't think I said anything bad in saying that. Now, if you want me to talk about it, I would say that there isn't an atmosphere for young loser men to live their lives. I feel like when you go to Europe, you can just hang out in a bar and it's kind of acceptable. Everybody just watches soccer. You have a beer and you spend $2, and it's kind of like a culture around it. In Arabic countries, you have like the tea house, or you have the opium dens. Not opium dens. The tobacco dens. You know what I'm talking about. China, Asia, I think they have the same thing going on. And he's gone. Bye, Wings of Fatness. I hope you enjoyed my. I don't think you enjoyed my talk. But thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm not radical enough for the radicals. It's terrible. It's really a problem that I have. I pretend to be all radical, but then my opinions are actually quite moderate. It's really an issue for me. No one is whether bad decisions. Sitting next to Joey Savage, that was a mistake. I should have gone to the fun row, sat with the Asian kids, and got a good GPA. I could have done that. I was originally sitting up there with them all, and I probably would have ended up med school if I'd stayed in that seat. But I'm like, oh, she's pretty. She knew in Catholic in the Catholic students in there. Oh no. But I should not have sat next to her. She was a trap. Now, I don't mean like okay. We all know trap has connotations. We get that. But she was a waste of time. She was a total waste of time. Complete, utter waste of time for me. I hope she found happiness. She probably did. But sitting next to her was a mistake. Do you know what kind of much? I should have gone to a fraternity. I'm drunk about it. I think I was probably too weird at that time to really get into fraternity or do well in that environment. So maybe not. I was really weird. I see pictures of myself back then. And I just cringed. I'm like, oh, geez, I was one of those guys. Shit. Maybe I'm still one of those guys. I don't know. I think I'm better looking now than I was though. So maybe that's fine. Then Epic. Baker Hughes was great. They gave me $100,000 to do nothing. It was great for a year. And it got me all the money I needed to do everything else. Anything else you can say about the oil and gas industry, they treat their people well when they're working. You know, there's always gaps and stuff. But yeah. So Epic, 100% a mistake. 100% stupid. I should have gone back to school then. Either gone for a PhD. You know, what do you go? It's like, oh, go for a PhD. A PhD in what? Like, that's always the question. It's like, oh, go for a PhD. It's like, in what? Like, biology? Ecology? Genetics? Like, there's so many bad spots to be in a PhD for. Like, maybe some of them do well, but like, a lot of them don't. And that's if you make it through. Like, how many people? I've known a few different really smart people who go for PhDs and they didn't finish. No one finished. I know one person finished it. No, she dropped out of PhD. I'm sure they all got masters and jobs. Who gets PhDs now? If you don't go to PhD, you get a master's. It's like, I think actually the path I did of going to computer science, I think it actually is really worked out well for me. I don't mind way to do it because I feel like it's not going to work out as well for everybody. But I'm usually smart, so I was able to kind of like find a second path forward. But so Joy, Epic. Now, I'd say I would have wanted to date more when I was younger. But I tried, man. I tried. Online dating sucks. Um, no, now I'm 31 and single. But no, man, am I single? I don't know. Yes, with benefits. I'm single with benefits. Some benefits, not all of them. Okay. Oh, I needed to talk. I hope nobody. Well, I guess Wings of Fatness found this. Thank you, Wings of Fatness. Nice having you on for a short time. All right, see you guys.